Okay, some participants are still joining. We will wait for the next 5 minutes. We will start within 5 minutes.
Swapnil, you can start now. Swapnil?
Okay, so welcome you all to today's live webinar session. So the objectives are today's live webinar session is BMS and BTMS. Important of the BMS and BTMS in a battery pack. So as well as we go through the battery pack basic information so that we need soon at hello. Yeah, so we go through the basic of the battery information so that we easy to understand the battery BMS and BTMS system. So let's start. Having some key points of the electric vehicles, we need to understand the key points of electric vehicles. Having some electric vehicle key components like electric motor, power converter, controller, and the battery packs. Those are the main key components in electric vehicle. Before starting the BMS or BTMS, we need to understand the electric vehicle battery. As shown in figure, having one electric vehicle structure and the battery are mounted in an electric vehicle floorboards, right? And having some transmission systems, charging and discharging plugs, high circuit cables, right? So electric vehicle batteries are mounted in the floor of the vehicles. Orange color are used to indicate the high voltage wiring current connections. This color coding system clearly identify which EV component should not be touched without proper safety training and the personal protective equipments. Right? So this is the structure of electric vehicle, basic structure we need to understand. So what is a battery? So battery is a device that converts the chemical energy contained which is active materials directly into the electrical energy. It's called as a battery. So basic, the chemical energy which is converted into electrical energy with the help of active materials which is electrol, lithium, anode, cathode, separators. Those are the active material which are react with each other at the time of charging and the discharging. So the battery is device that convert chemical energy into the electrical energy. It's called as a battery. There are two types of battery. First is a primary battery and second is a secondary battery. So the primary battery is a non-rechargeable battery which consists alkaline battery and the coil cell batteries. Those are the non-rechargeable batteries which we are using in remote cells, right? And wall-mounted watches. Those are the non-rechargeable batteries. And the rechargeable batteries are considered in the secondary batteries, which is the lead acid battery, nickel cadmium battery, nickel metal hybrid battery, lithium ion battery, and the lithium ion polymer battery. Those are the rechargeable batteries which we are using in our laptops, cell phones, and electric vehicle, etc. So those are the two types: primary batteries and secondary batteries. So the different types of batteries as shown in figure, the lithium ion battery, the lithium ion polymer battery, which we are using in our cell phone and laptops, which is comes under the secondary batteries, which are the rechargeable battery. Second is the coil cell battery, which is a non-rechargeable battery, which we are using in remotes and small kind of gadgets. Then the lead acid battery, lithium ion battery, nickel cadmium battery, and the lithium ion paraphosphate battery. Those are the rechargeable battery which comes under the secondary batteries, which we can recharge again and again up to its life cycle. Thereafter the button cells and the alkaline batteries, those are the non-rechargeable batteries which we are using in our remote and the wall mounted watches and etc. So these are the different types of batteries which we are using in our rechargeable and non-rechargeable appliances. So what type of batteries that are mainly used in nowadays in electric vehicle or widely used in electric vehicle? So they're having lithium ion battery and the lithium ion paraphosphate battery, lead acid batteries. Those three type of batteries are widely used in electric vehicle. Thereafter, what is an EV battery's cycle or lifespan? Means हर एक चीज की एक life होती है. Like lithium ion batteries, lithium ion paraphosphate batteries, lead acid batteries having some life, right? हर एक चीज की एक life होती है, तो उस life को हम किस तरीके से count करते हैं? So in a terms of lithium ion battery or lead acid battery, one charge plus one discharge is equal to one life cycle. That means you charge your battery and you discharge your battery at a one time. That means you use your one life cycle of the battery. Same as lithium ion and lithium ion paraphosphate, all batteries are having the same one charge and one discharge is equal to one life of cycle. This is the count of lifespan. So as following batteries having lithium ion like 1500 to 2000 life cycle, lithium ion paraphosphate having 2000 to 2500 life cycle, and the lead acid having 500 to 800 life cycle, right? So the lead acid having a low life of cycle as compared with the lithium ion and lithium ion paraphosphate batteries. So this is a lithium ion batteries which having a different types of life cycles. Now, what is a BMS? The main objective of this webinar session is BMS. So BMS is a battery management system. A battery management system manages a battery pack by protecting the battery from operating outside its safe operating zone by monitoring its state, controlling and its environmental and balancing the lithium ion cells inside the battery pack. Battery pack के inside में जो battery cells होते हैं उनको monitor करना, उनको protection देना at the time of charging and the discharging, ये एक बेसिक वर्क होता है BMS का, which is a battery management system. इसके बारे में हम और देखेंगे. So types of BMS, battery management system के two types है. Like battery management system BMS is used to monitor the protecting and improve the performance of the batteries. They are used in many applications including electric vehicles, right? So there are two types of BMS. First is a hardware BMS. Second is a software BMS. There are two types. First is a hardware and second is a software BMS. Before that, battery management system ये कैसे काम करता है? So basically having one battery pack as shown figure and at the middle BMS is mounted like battery pack sended the current, voltage, temperature and etc. signals to the BMS, right? BMS एक feedback generate करता है and हमें वो show करता है in a display like SOC, SOH, thermal management, power optimization and etc. Many parameters are showing by that display. With the help of communication systems, like we learn about that, having some communication system like Bluetooth communication, TOT communication, IoT communications, thereafter CAN communications. Those are communication system interference which are using in BMS to connect or communicate with the battery pack. Before that, starting the BMS, before that we learn about the key points of the BMS in electric vehicle, like monitoring the battery cells, providing the battery protections, estimating the battery's operational status, continuously optimize the battery performance, reporting operational status to external devices, update, control and the battery internal and ambient temperature, key operational parameters during the charging and discharging like SOC, SOH, DOD, sales balancing and etc. So those are the parameters which showing by the host computer or your cell phone applications to understand the behavior of the battery pack, right? So those are the key points. So first is a hardware BMS. A hardware BMS is performs the basic protection functions to keep the battery pack functioning as healthy as possible. So what are the basic functions are over voltage cutoff, under voltage cutoff, continuous current, over current detections and the over temperature cutoff. Those functions are performing by the hardware to functioning as healthy as possible to the battery pack, right? So those are the basic functions which we learn. So hardware BMS having some parameters like over voltage cutoff. Over voltage cutoff means what? Over voltage cutoff is the maximum voltage cutoff the cell should be discharged, right? Over voltage cutoff is the maximum voltage of the cell to which a cell should be charged, right? So ये एक ओवर वोल्टेज कट ऑफ दैट मींस आपकी जो बैटरी की सेल है ये उसके बाद चार्ज करना बंद कर देगी, स्टॉप कर देगी, right? So the over voltage cutoff for an LFP cell is 3.6. That means you cannot charge the battery or your cell after the 3.6 volt. And NMC cell is 4.2. Right, there are two chemistries are showing here: LFP, lithium iron ferrophosphate, and nickel, magnesium, calcium, cobalt. This is another chemistry. So there is a two different voltage are showing here. Right. Thereafter, the under voltage cutoff. The under voltage cutoff is the voltage at which the cell must stop discharging further. That means you cannot discharge after the 2.5 volt. Like they're showing 2.5 volt is the under voltage cutoff limit that you cannot discharge your cell after the 2.5 volt. Thereafter, over temperature cutoff system. So BMS has having some thermistors like two thermistors to sense the battery temperature, and it's cut off the battery when it senses the maximum temperature has been achieved. They're having two temperatures, like one in the battery pack, one in with the BMS. A BMS informs the maximum temperature that the battery can achieve during the charging and the discharging. The operating temperature of the lithium-ion cells affect their life cycles. That's the reason we're using the over temperature cutoff system. Thereafter, the continuous current. That means this is an ensure that the BMS is functioning smoothly in all aspects when the operated at the particular charge and discharging current. That means that is in continuous current in a battery pack with the BMS. Second is the software BMS, which also known as smart BMS. It has all features of the hardware BMS. Additionally, can collect the data, and it have a memory to store the data, and can transmit the data via CAN communication, Bluetooth communication, and etc. Right? We can communicate with the battery pack with the help of transmission systems like CAN communication or Bluetooth communication, having some advanced features like functionalities, state of charge, SOC, DOD, depth of discharge, SOH, state of charge, communication interference, cell monitoring and diagnosis, cell balancing, and the temperature management. Those are the advanced functions in a smart BMS or software BMS. State of charge, as shown in figure, having some percentage like 0%, 25%, 50%, 100%. So it's what shows, it's like indicate of the energy stored in a battery. It's important factor to end users because it's notify remaining capacity of the battery and reflect the performance of the battery. That's the reason the SOC is showing the percentage of the battery, how many battery is remaining to end users. Now the depth of discharge, DOD. What is the DOD? As shown in figure, 100% SOC and the 0% DOD, 20% SOC and the 80% DOD. That means what? The depth of discharge is identified as defined as the capacity discharged from the battery divided by the battery nominal capacity. That means how many, how can you know, इसके बारे में आपको कैसे पता चलेगा कि एग्जैक्टली हमें कब चार्ज करना है, कब डिस्चार्ज करना है, हमारी बैटरी कहाँ तक, मतलब लाइक कहाँ तक डिस्चार्ज हो सकती है. तो उसका एक परसेंटेज सेट किया जाता है, लाइक 80% DOD, डेप्थ ऑफ डिस्चार्ज. यू कैन नॉट डिस्चार्ज आफ्टर यू रीच दैट परसेंटेज. Data login and reporting. Record the historical data about the battery performance, event and the condition which you can use the analysis and maintenance, right? यहाँ पे कुछ डेटा दिया गया है, लाइक वो डेटा BMS में स्टोर होता है और वो डेटा पे हम एनालिसिस कर सकते हैं अगर कोई बैटरी में फॉल्ट है. सो दैट्स द रीजन डेटा लॉगिन एंड रिपोर्टिंग ये एक फीचर्स स्मार्ट BMS में होता है. Thereafter the cell balancing. The cell balancing is most important. The BMS ensure that all individual cells within a battery pack are charged and discharged evenly to maintain optimal performance and prolong the battery life. ये बहुत important factor होता है cell balancing in a BMS. At the time of charging and discharging, वो cells को monitor करता है, उनका टेम्परेचर वगैरह सही से है नहीं है, टेम्परेचर किस तरीके से बढ़ रहा है, किस तरीके से कम हो रहा है, तो वो सब सेल को बैलेंस करने का काम BMS करता है. टाइप ऑफ BMS कम्युनिकेशन इन EV. A battery management system, BMS is an electronic system that manages the rechargeable battery cell or battery pack by facilitating the safe uses along the life of the battery with help of the communication system. So having a 3 communication system which we are using, first is a Bluetooth communication, second is a IoT, that Internet of Things, cloud connectivity, and C is in CAN communication, control area network. Those 3 communications are used to communicate with the smart BMS. Bluetooth communication, UART, stand for the Universal and the Synchronous Receiver Transmission, and it's work with the Bluetooth interference, which is send the data to the end user or their cell phone application. As shown in figure, the 90% of the SOC is remaining, like state of charge remaining is 90%, 13.8% is voltage, 15% is ampere. Thereafter the 25 is the temperature of the battery, as showing and a home. Yeah, am I audible now? Yeah. So a Bluetooth communication, UART, stand for Universal Synchronous Receiver Transmission, and it's work with a Bluetooth interference, which send the data to the end user on their cell phone application. We saw the data of the battery in a user cell phone in a smart BMS. As shown in figure, having some parameters like SOC, which showing 90%, that means the state of charge, the remaining battery is 90%, right? Thereafter, the 13.8% is a voltage, 15% ampere, 25 is the temperature, so that all the data are showing by this with the help of Bluetooth communication. IoT, Internet of Things, which is a cloud-based connectivity. The cloud battery management system combine IoT and the cloud computing technology with the advancement in the BMS software designed for the remote monitoring and the notify the systems. It's require wireless internet and they transmit the data to the cloud and it be viewed remotely by the anybody with the access. IoT is used to notify manufacturer and a user about the real-time battery pack status or the data. As shown figure, some vehicles are moving which is connected with the IoT like cloud connectivity, and we can access that data of the vehicle or the battery pack with remotely. CAN control area network. There is a CAN communication is an interference of communicate with BMS. So it reduces the vehicle to stand that allows the microcontrollers and device to communicate with each other. If we want to connect with a host computer, then there is an options to continue and communicate. We monitor the battery BMS with the host computer too. Right? It can also be implemented for communication between the battery charger and the battery management system, which is a BMS. So we can connect like हम इसे कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं व्हीकल के साथ एंड हम होस्ट कंप्यूटर के साथ. सो हम डेटा वहां से ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं एट द सेम टाइम. अगर वहां पे कंट्रोलर्स एंड माइक्रो कंट्रोलर्स एंड द कम्युनिकेशन डिवाइस एक दूसरे के साथ कम्युनिकेट करके भी वो वहां पे इश्यूज कैन कम्युनिकेशन थ्रू सॉल्व हो सकते हैं. सेम एज होस्ट कंप्यूटर से हम वहां का डेटा लेकर उसको एनालिसिस भी कर सकते हैं. The widely used CAN communication and the Bluetooth communication nowadays, the IoT systems are not used in electric vehicle nowadays. Why do electric vehicle catch fire? So when the heat from the EV batteries mix with the oil that has leaked, that battery burst into the flame. So additionally, since the Indian temperature is typically hot, this fire occurs happen frequently. As we all know, and as the Indian temperature is very hot, so the fire occurrence happen frequently. So preventing of the overheating of the electric vehicle battery is a smart technique to address this issue. For that, we can use the like good quality of battery cells, smart battery charger, time to time maintenance, smart BMS, BTMS, and etc. features we can use in our battery. So now we learn about the BTMS, battery thermal management system. A battery thermal management system controls the operating temperature of the battery by entering dissipating the heat when it's too hot or providing the heat when it's too cool. मतलब अगर आपकी व्हीकल की बैटरी एक्सट्रीम हॉट टेम्परेचर में है तो वो टाइम पे BTMS का काम होता है कि उस बैटरी को कूलिंग प्रोवाइड करना. और इफ सपोज आपकी व्हीकल एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड कंडीशन में है तो वो टाइम पे उस बैटरी को हॉट मतलब दैट मींस हीट प्रोवाइड करना, ये एक BTMS का काम होता है. सो इंजीनियर यूज द एक्टिव एंड पैसिव और हाइब्रिड हीट ट्रांसफर सॉल्यूशन टू मॉनिटर द बैटरी टेम्परेचर इन देयर सिस्टम्स. सो वी लर्न अबाउट द BTMS more, like type of BTMS, having three types of BTMS: active, passive, and hybrid. Right. So active contains the air liquid, passive PCM and heat pipes, and hybrid PCM plus air, PCM plus liquid, and PCM plus heat pipes. So this is a structure of the BTMS which used to cool the vehicle or heat the vehicle, providing the heat the vehicle at the time of the main aim of the BTMS is regulate the temperature of the cell of the battery and that thereby increasing the lifespan of the battery pack. Active air cooling system. Active BTMS is based on the liquid force air that used to energy using the implement like pump, compressor, fan, push coolant flow through the battery module. So as shown in figure, air blow outside the cabin area से जो भी एयर होती है वो थ्रो की जाती है विद द हेल्प ऑफ एयर ब्लो इन अ बैटरी पैक, और अंदर की साइड की जो हीट होती है उसे थ्रो किया जाता है विद द एयर ब्लो, एंड आउटसाइड जो भी हीट है उसको थ्रो करके उस बैटरी को एयर कूलिंग सिस्टम प्रोवाइड की जाती है. Right. Second is the liquid cooling system. Liquid cooling is the liquid flow through the tubes or plates around the battery cells, carrying the heat to different places like vehicle, radiator, and the same process happen when the car is moving. Liquid cooling is widely used method to keep the electric vehicle batteries cool. इसमें क्या होता है, इसमें रेडिएटर होता है, लिक्विड स्टोर एरिया होता है, एंड हैविंग सम लिक्विड फ्लोइंग ट्यूब्स होते हैं जो रेडिएटर थ्रू जो लिक्विड कोल्ड लिक्विड होता है वो बैटरी पैक के इनसाइड में थ्रू किया जाता है, जिससे वो पूरे जो बैटरी पैक्स होते हैं उसके अंदर की जो हीट होती है वो ट्रांसमिट की जाती है विद द हेल्प ऑफ लिक्विड कूलिंग, एंड उसे अगेन वो जो लिक्विड होता है उसे लाया जाता है रेडिएटर में. अगेन ये सेम प्रोसेस कंटिन्यूसली रन होती रहती है एट द टाइम ऑफ व्हीकल इज मूविंग. Phase changing material PCM. The phase changing absorb that release the thermal energy during the phase transition, such as melting and solidifying. This material can effectively manage the temperature speaker, but are obtained using combination with the other cooling methods to enhance the overall thermal performance. This type of system are not currently implemented in electric vehicle. This having recently become a significant due to their operational advantages. Like ये थोड़ी सी हैवी कॉस्ट होती है इस मेथड को यूज करने के लिए, सो दैट ये जो मेथड है पीसीएम फेस चेंजिंग मटेरियल फॉर द कूलिंग सिस्टम, ये इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल में नाउडेज दिस सिस्टम आर नॉट यूज्ड, राइट. Thereafter, the hybrid system to combine multiple cooling methods such as PCM with the forced air or liquid cooling or hybrid system leave the strength of the different techniques to achieve the superior thermal management. So hybrid system and PCMs are same, but this is those systems are not used in electric vehicle nowadays. Only the air cooling and the liquid cooling systems are widely used in electric vehicle. Air cooling systems are used in electric two-wheeler, and the liquid cooling systems are widely used in electric four-wheeler. Now, the creating a lithium battery pack with a smart BMS involving the several steps, hence the general overview of the process. ये कुछ एक प्रोसेस बताई गई है यहाँ पे, जहाँ पे आपकी बैटरी किस तरीके से बनती है इसका एक ओवरव्यू दिया गया है, एक प्रोसेस यहाँ पे दी गई है. So the identify the required size, voltage, capacity of the battery. जो भी आपकी कैपेसिटी, जो भी एप्लीकेशन है उस हिसाब से आपको पहले आइडेंटिफाई करना है. Choose the type of the lithium ion cells like lithium ion 4 phosphate. You need to select the chemistry as per your application. Ensure that all cells having the same voltage before the assemble. Arrange the cells in the desired configuration, series and parallel. Like if you add in a series connection, you add the voltage. If you add the parallel connection, you add the ampere. So as per application, you have to decide that arrange the cells as per desired configuration. Spot welding nickel strip to connect the cells and ensure the proper connection for the both series and parallel configurations. Use the insulation material to prevent the short circuit between the cells and the connections. Right. Along with that, select the BMS that match the voltage and the current specification of your pack has been required. Connecting the main positive and negative wires to the pack terminals. Connecting the balance wire to each cell group. This allows the BMS to monitor balance each cell. Along with that, place the temperature sensor in a battery pack to monitor the temperature. External connections like add connection for the charging and discharging purpose. After that, enclose the pack. Place the battery pack and BMS in a protective enclose. Test the battery pack for the correct voltage and ensure there are no shorts, and test the battery pack under the load condition, ensuring the performance as expected. So this is an some steps to make a battery pack. General overview of this process. So this is an BMS and BTMS. Like इसमें हमने बैटरी के बारे में देखा, बैटरी केमिस्ट्री के बारे में देखा, किस तरीके की बैटरी होती है, चार्जेबल, रिचार्जेबल बैटरी, नॉन रिचार्जेबल बैटरी। देन आफ्टर द इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल का स्ट्रक्चर, बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर क्या होता है, क्या कंपोनेंट्स होते हैं, राइट। देन आफ्टर द BMS, BTMS। BMS क्या होता है, बैटरी मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम। BTMS क्या होता है, बैटरी थर्मल मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम, राइट। सो अगर आपको इस रिलेटेड कोई भी क्वेश्चन है तो आप पूछ सकते हो।
हेलो सर। Hello, Swapnil, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, yes, sir.
So which day certificate will be provided?
Hello.
So which day certificate will be provided?
Hello. Hello, Swapnil sir, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, actually, I have 2-3 questions from you. First one is actually you have told that CAN can be used and IoT can also be used. So, what's the difference between CAN and IoT for vehicle to be connected through online network or something?
CAN कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम जो होता है सर, ये CAN कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम विच इज कंट्रोल एरिया नेटवर्क, राइट। माइक्रो कंट्रोलर्स एंड डिवाइसेस होते हैं जो एक दूसरे के साथ कनेक्ट होते हैं। एंड जो ये आपका क्लाउड बेस्ड कनेक्टिविटी होता है, IoT, इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग, विच इज प्योरली कनेक्टेड विद द क्लाउड बेस्ड, लाइक वायरलेस इंटरनेट कनेक्शन होता है, जहां से आप उसको रिमोटली कहीं से भी उसको ऑपरेट कर सकते हो, एक्सेस कर सकते हो। सो दोज आर बोथ आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स। बट IoT सिस्टम जो मैंने बताया, इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग, ये अभी इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल में यूज नहीं हो रहा है।
हाँ, लेकिन मतलब कैन से आप मतलब कंप्यूटर के थ्रू ऑपरेट नहीं कर सकते हो?
कंप्यूटर कैन कम्युनिकेशन हम कंप्यूटर से भी ऑपरेट कर सकते हैं। इफ सपोज अगर आपको कोई उसका डेटा लेना है, राइट, तो होस्ट कंप्यूटर हम वहां से उसको कनेक्ट करके उसको कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, तो वहां से भी हम डेटा ले सकते हैं।
अच्छा सर। सर एक चीज और ये बताइए कि जैसे लिथियम आयन बैटरी होती है और लेड एसिड बैटरी है, तो लेकिन जनरली जो BMS है वो लिथियम आयन बैटरी के लिए सुटेबल रहता है, लेड के लिए नहीं रहता है, क्यों?
लेड एसिड में हम BMS यूज नहीं कर सकते सर, क्योंकि कैसा रहता है, उसे हम उस हिसाब से कनेक्शंस नहीं कर सकते हैं, राइट। जो पैरेलल कनेक्शंस होते हैं BMS के, वो हम लेड एसिड बैटरी के साथ नहीं कर सकते हैं। लेड एसिड बैटरी की जो लाइफ स्पैन होती है वो भी कम होती है, राइट। सो हम उसके साथ वो कनेक्ट नहीं कर सकते। लिथियम आयन फॉस्फेट के साथ हम इसे कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, राइट। उसे मैनेज करना पॉसिबल हो सकता है। लेड एसिड को मैनेज हम नहीं कर पाएंगे विद द हेल्प ऑफ BMS।
अच्छा, मतलब उसमें रिक्वायरमेंट ही नहीं होती है क्या लेड एसिड बैटरी में?
नहीं, लेड एसिड में रिक्वायरमेंट ही नहीं होती है। वो वेरी चीप कॉस्ट बैटरी है, राइट, और उसकी लाइफ स्पैन भी कम होती है। सो उस हिसाब से उसमें हम उस तरीके की एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजीज यूज नहीं करते हैं।
अच्छा। और सर ये PCM और PSM थोड़ा सा समझा दीजिए, समझ में नहीं आया सर ये।
फेस चेंजिंग मटेरियल क्या होता है? PCM जो मटेरियल है वो जब भी हीट ट्रांसफर होती है तो वो उसकी प्रॉपर्टी है, वो वहाँ उसका प्रॉपर्टी वहाँ पे वो चेंज कर देता है। तो उसमें जो हीट ट्रांसफर होती है वो ट्रांसफर करके उसे कूलिंग का काम वो वहाँ पे करता है PCM। और वो हाइब्रिड में क्या होता है, हाइब्रिड में वो दोनों सिस्टम वहाँ पे यूज होती है, लाइक लिक्विड भी यूज होता है और एयर भी यूज होती है। तो वो दोनों सिस्टम वहाँ पे यूज करते हैं। तो वहाँ पे जो कूलिंग की जो मेथड है, लाइक बैटरी अगर हीट हो रही है या एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड कंडीशन में है, तो वहाँ पे आपको हेल्प होती है आपकी बैटरी का टेम्परेचर मेंटेन करने की।
अच्छा, और PSM के केस में क्या होता है सर?
सेम वही PSM का ही बताया मैंने, फेस चेंजिंग और हाइब्रिड का बताया।
अच्छा, तो इसका फुल फॉर्म क्या है सर PSM का?
फेस चेंजिंग मटेरियल।
Sir, I have one doubt. Sir, what's BMS? Please explain. हेलो
हेलो।
सर, एक बार बीएमएस एक्सप्लेन कीजिए ना।
ओके।
Is
Basically, the
conducted
P yes.
the background sound is coming.
Yeah, okay. Background sound है, background sound बंद कीजिए. So basically, the PSM absorb the release thermal energy during the phase transactions. Like जब भी thermal energy release होती है at the time phase transactions such as melting and solidifying. This material can effectively manage the temperature. ये जो material है, ये effectively उस temperature को manage करता है. Speaker, but that the obtain using combination other cooling methods enhance overall the temperature performance. Right? This type of system is मतलब ये अभी जैसे कि आप देख रहे हो यहाँ पे फिगर में पीएसएम और कुछ मटेरियल दिखाया गया है, पीएसएम मटेरियल एंड सेल्स दिखाई गई है, राइट, फेस चेंजिंग मटेरियल. ये जब भी उसकी टेम्परेचर वहां पे इंक्रीज होता है, वो उसकी प्रॉपर्टी है, वो उसका फेस चेंज ट्रांसमिशन कर देता है, थर्मल मैनेज एनर्जी ड्यूरिंग द फेस चेंजिंग ट्रांसमिशन, और उसके वो सॉलिडिफाई करके उसको चिल्ड मतलब कोल्ड कर देता है. लाइक जो भी टेम्परेचर वहां पे ऑब्टेन हो रहा है उस हिसाब से उसको वो कोल्ड कर देता है.
सर ये जो हेलो
यस.
हाँ, फेस चेंजिंग मटेरियल का कोई सर एग्जांपल है क्या सर, मान लेते हैं आप?
एग्जाम्पल लाइक
यस सर.
फेस चेंजिंग मटेरियल अभी ये जो है ये अभी फिलहाल इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल में यूज नहीं हो रहा है, सो इसका आपको एग्जांपल मैं एग्जैक्टली नहीं दे पाऊंगा यहाँ पे.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है मैम. सर जैसे हम बैटरी डिजाइन करने के बाद अगर फेलियर आता है तो उसको हम कैसे सर मेजरमेंट करेंगे कि यहाँ कहाँ से फेलियर है सर आफ्टर कंप्लीट
बैटरी डिजाइन करने के बाद?
यस सर, पूरा नहीं सर, आफ्टर असेंबली के बाद अगर हम पूरा असेंबली हो जाता है उसके बाद सर कैसे फाइंड आउट करेंगे हम कि कहाँ से प्रॉब्लम आई है इसमें?
Okay.
हमारा
सो इसके लिए जो मतलब जो OEMs होते हैं इनके पास सॉफ्टवेयर होते हैं जहाँ पे अगर आपकी बैटरी पैक अगर आपकी पूरी बन भी चुकी है तो अगर आपकी गाड़ी बैटरी में स्मार्ट BMS अगर लगा हुआ है तो स्मार्ट BMS को हम कनेक्ट करके वहाँ पे जो भी पैरामीटर्स है, जो हमारे स्टैंडर्ड पैरामीटर्स है, उन्हें हम चेक कर सकते हैं और उनको हम क्रॉस चेक करके वहां पे हम प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं. आपको वो बैटरी BMS खुद ही बता देगा कि एग्जैक्टली कहाँ पे एरर आया हुआ है, मतलब कोई BMS में है, थर्मिस्टर में है, या आपके बैटरी पैक में है, या कोई वायर ओपन रह गया, ओपन शॉर्ट सर्किट हो गया है, तो वो डायरेक्टली आपको एप्लीकेशन में ही सब पैरामीटर्स बता देगा जहां से आप आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हो कि आपका एग्जैक्टली प्रॉब्लम कहाँ पर है.
ओके सर. सर क्या अगर हम बैटरी परफॉर्मेंस अगर कम हो जाता है तो उसको फिर से इनहेंस किया जा सकता है?
देखो हर एक बैटरी की लाइफ साइकिल होती है. लाइक अगर आपकी बैटरी परफॉर्मेंस कम हो रही है दैट मीन्स आप उस हिसाब से आप उसकी लाइफ साइकिल यूज कर रहे हो, राइट. अगर उसकी लाइफ साइकिल कम हो रही है तो उसको हम कर सकते हैं बैलेंस करके उसकी मतलब परफॉर्मेंस थोड़ा सा इंक्रीज हो सकता है, लेकिन जैसे जैसे उसकी लाइफ साइकिल कम होगी उसकी परफॉर्मेंस में इफेक्ट होगा.
ओके सर.
सर ये पावर कन्वर्टर्स कौन से यूज होते हैं जनरली? ये
पावर कन्वर्टर यहाँ पे DC टू DC कन्वर्टर यूज किया जाता है व्हीकल में.
ओके.
जो वोल्टेज होता है जैसे कि ऑक्सिलरी पार्ट्स होते हैं गाड़ी के अंदर, हॉर्न, इंडिकेटर्स वगैरह, तो उनको जो रिक्वायर्ड वोल्टेज होता है वो 12 वोल्ट का होता है. तो हमारा जो बैटरी पैक वो जो स्टार्ट होता है इलेक्ट्रिक टू व्हीलर में अगर मैं बात करूँ तो 48 वोल्ट से स्टार्ट होता है, तो उसको हमें कन्वर्ट करना होता है 12 वोल्ट में. सो वहां पे हम लोग DC टू DC कन्वर्टर्स यूज करते हैं.
ये कंट्रोलर के अलावा होता है ना सर?
यस, ये कंट्रोलर्स के अलावा होता है.
Excuse me, sir.
यस मैम.
Sir, can you give some example of the real-time applications of the parameters? Suppose we have a voltage and temperature as input parameters, and we're finding the SOH or SOC. Is there is an example of the real-time parameters so that we can find in real time?
Can you repeat? Actually, your voice is not audible. आप repeat कर सकते हो? Hello.
You have already explained that we have a different parameters of the battery, that SOC, SOH, and other parameters.
Okay.
And we are in the battery consumption, we are using the real time assumption or estimations of these parameters, and you give the idea about that parameters.
ओके एसओसी डीओडी और ये जो मैंने पैरामीटर्स आपको बताए, इसके अलावा भी आपको पैरामीटर्स चाहिए?
नहीं सर, ये पैरामीटर्स इज ओके. अब माय क्वेश्चन इज, nowadays basically the batteries are like in the real time estimations of these type of parameters.
Right.
So can you give some idea कि how they are basically finding the SOH, SOC in real time form for the battery management system by using this machine learning or other parameters with some examples? Can you give some idea about this, कि how their parameters are measuring?
How there are parameters are measuring for that हमें एक और सेशन इस पे रखना होगा जिसमें आपको BMS के बारे में जो इंटरनल कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस होते हैं, लाइक BMS के अंदर जो प्रोग्राम सेट्स के होते हैं, उसके बारे में हमें एक्सप्लेन करना होगा.
Okay sir. So means is there any example that or any other material?
Any other parameters like having some thermistors like temperature sensors, so real time जो डेटा होता है उसके अंदर जो टेम्परेचर थर्मिस्टर्स जो सेंस करते हैं वो हमें रियल टाइम में वहाँ पे हम शो कर सकते हैं डिस्प्ले पर. तो हमें रियल टाइम डेटा पता चलता है कि एग्जैक्टली टेम्परेचर हमारे बैटरी पैक का क्या है, सो हम उसे अकॉर्डिंगली एडजस्ट कर सकते हैं या कोई
what basically procedure they are using to give this type of parameters on the screen?
For the screen, like you are talking about the interference?
Now I'm talking, yes, like this, suppose there is some change in voltage or the temperature in the back end, and we are getting some parameters or getting some indications on the screen that there is a problem in the battery management and there is a change in SOC. Is there any method that how they are basically saying these things on the screen form?
Screen form. So
are you getting my question?
Yeah.
Basically, suppose there are three parameters as the input parameters: voltage, current, or temperature, as we have covered. So if there is a change in voltage or current, obviously there is a change in SOC or SOH or resistance parameters.
Right.
If there is a change in voltage or current, I want to estimate directly or in the real-time form that if there is a small change in voltage in my battery, I can easily estimate that there is a change in some SOC and how I can compensate this.
So
or
basically,
how the manufacturer can compensate this.
So basically, for that, we are using some IoT, Bluetooth communication, UART systems. Like उसके साथ वो कॉन्फ़िगर करके वो पूरा जो भी आपका रियल टाइम डेटा है, राइट, वो आपको वहाँ पे शो करता है, राइट. सो जो OEMs होते हैं वहाँ पे भी basically IoTs and CAN communications are using for the same.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
In fact, this BMS and BTMS, whether it is being used for the charging purposes to manage the battery pack, it's a cluster of battery pack is a cluster of the cells. So if some cell is getting down, then it manages, or it is on load side. If Hello.
Yes, sir.
My question is that this BMS and BTMS is for the purposes of charging or for load side also? Because once battery is charged and loading side also, because battery pack is nothing, it's a cluster of cells, it's an assembly of the cells. So some cell is getting in bad shape, how it controls. So both side, no, for only for charging or for load side.
So your voice, Yeah, sir, your voice is breaking. Can you drop your question in chat box?
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Swapnil, I have one question. In current electric vehicles, BMS and BTMS both are there, or only single one is used?
Nowadays in electric two-wheeler the BMS is there, and in electric four-wheeler BTMS and BMS both are there. We are not using BTMS in electric two-wheeler nowadays.
Okay. So in electric four-wheeler, both are used.
Yeah, the BTMS and BMS are both are used. Like liquid cooling systems are used there, and the BTMS is mandatory in smart batteries.
Okay. So simple BMS cannot control the thermal part.
Yeah, they control, but we cannot. We don't know about that temperature that displayed by the, or we cannot interference with that hardware BMS. So we cannot control that temperature or any other parameters with the help of that BMS.
So you mean to say that? So you mean to say that BMS cannot control the temperature? It only it shows the temperature or not?
No. BMS is controlled, but the smart BMS is controlled, not the hardware BMS is controlled itself.
Okay. So smart BMS control the temperature.
Yeah.
In two-wheelers.
Yeah, in a two-wheelers, in a three-wheelers.
Okay. So we cannot basically do the changes to control the temperature.
Yeah, we cannot do the changes in hardware BMS.
Okay.
Or we cannot command to the, or we cannot collect the data from the hardware BMS.
Okay. Software BMS, we can collect the data and we can do the changes.
Yeah, we can collect the data from the software BMS. We can communicate with the interference with the help of Bluetooth communication, CAN communication. So we can communicate and we can change that parameters.
So basically BTMS is required for advanced type of thermal management system.
Management system. Yes.
Okay.
Swapnil, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
See, basically the HV wiring.
Sorry?
High voltage wiring.
Okay.
When there is a change in resistance, and there is a system that prevents the vehicle from starting or moving out, going into the drive mode. When there is the change in resistance from the standard deviations, then the vehicle does not go into the drive mode. Am I right?
Sorry?
See, when the resistance, that is of the HV wiring, high voltage wiring, goes beyond the permissible limits. So if I am checking the what you call resistance of the HV wiring as 550, if it goes down below 550, the vehicle does not go into a drive mode.
Sir, can you speak loud? मुझे मतलब कुछ समझ रहा है, कुछ नहीं समझ रहा है आपका क्वेश्चन.
नहीं, आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा है. नहीं, सपने यही है कि आपके जो हाई वोल्टेज
वॉइस वॉइस थोड़ा लाउडली आप बोल सकते हो, तो मुझे आवाज नहीं आ पा रही आपकी.
एक मिनट.
जी हेलो.
Just a minute.
Hello.
जी.
Hello. Yeah, Dr. Bharatraj. Sir, can you just share your question? Definitely we'll get back to you. I think there is some network issue in the trainer end in the Maharashtra, so might be some network issues there.
Okay. Swapnil, can you hear me now? Swapnil, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir. Actually, there is a...
See, when there is a change in the high voltage wiring resistance, the system, there is a system that prevents the vehicle from going into the driving mode. For example, in Tata vehicles, or if you take the BYD vehicles, if there is a change in the resistance of the HV wiring, the vehicle does not go into driver mode and it shows HV critical error. So, which component triggers this error? Hello?
He has some problem. He already said that he has some problem, network problem. He is not able to do this.
Yeah. Hello, Swapnil. Can you hear me? Hello.
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 Hello. Yeah, I am audible.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Guys, I think the webinar is already done. So you might we have some queries and questions. So I just request you all to, if you can just put your question in the chat box along with your email ID. So definitely will revert back to you, because I think some network issue at a trainer end. That's why he's not able to answer.
Sir, I am putting up the question in the chat box. Just look into the question.
All right. That I'll collect from the chat box itself. So if anybody has any question, please, I'll request you all to share your question in the chat box itself. Definitely will get the answers through the email itself.
Swapnil, can you answer this question? I have put up in the chat box.
No, Swapnil is Swapnil. I'm Rishi from ISI India, sir.
Can you go through this
So
question?
I actually am not a technical person. So the trainer is Mr. Swapnil, and he is having some network issue in Maharashtra itself. Actually, he is residing in the Palghar area, so some network issue is there, I think.
Should I share the mail ID separately along with the question?
Yes, sir. Just drop your mail ID in the chat box, and we'll revert on the mail ID itself, or we'll share a concern number so you can directly speak with the trainer. I have received 5 questions till time. So I request you all, if you can just share your email ID along with the your comments, your questions, so it will be good for us to revert you separately. The certificate you will get through the mail itself. We have already marked your attendance. You will get the certificate from the mail. Or the update email you will get through the soon after on Tuesday itself. So any other queries from anybody?
No, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for those joining the webinar. Thank you, sir. And sorry for the interruption, the glitch we have into this meeting. Thank you again to everyone. Thank you for the joining the session.
Thank you very much.
Hope the webinar was fruitful for you. So for the upcoming webinars, we are soon publish the upcoming webinars on our portal, our website asaindia.com. So you can regularly visit to our platform and definitely will get the update through mail and through the portal itself.